Like, is she about to fuck his dad? Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Johanna and welcome to my cozy book space. We are on day 3 of BOOKMAS and I didn't really say anything about that because I always say that I'm going to be posting videos and I always try my hardest and I will pump out videos and then there will be like a lag. So I didn't want to overcommit, but like I'm committing to myself and we're on day 3. Things are looking good. I think we are doing a good job so far, but we're only on day 3. Positive vibes my way. Okay, friends. So for today's video, we're going to be doing my December anticipated releases. For the month of December, I don't have that many new releases that are on my radar. I need to be better about getting books on my radar. Maybe I just need to start following my favorite authors, etc. I don't know what's going on. But in the month of December, again, like I said, I don't have that many. So we'll dive right into the ones that I do have. Let's dive into my December new releases. For December 2nd, we have quite a few, starting off with A Kiss of Hammer and Flame by Amy de la Force. This is a must-read, sizzling romantasy debut. The first print run edition for this romantasy is absolutely stunning and it sounds really good. So let's dive into the synopsis. It says here, an immortal bound in darkness, a shattered empire at war, and a blacksmith whose heart could tip the scales of fate. When young blacksmith Kara is commissioned to forge a sword, she uses her imagination to design a symbol, but this symbol invokes an age-old prophecy and awakens Hael, an immortal with the power to shape or shatter worlds, sealed away in a chamber deep in Haelestromia, the lost capital at the heart of civil war between 3 kingdoms. Now hunted for the sword, Kara must flee with the very stranger who commissioned it. But what does she truly know about the handsome and charming noble Terrell? On the run through the darkly magical wild, she is drawn ever closer to Hael, who visits and beguiles her in her dreams. With tyrant kings vying to capture Hael and wield him as a weapon, she alone stands between Hael and their deadly ambitions. Will Kara risk everything to free him in time to save the Empire? A sizzling, action-packed romantasy perfect for the fans of The North Wind, Throne of Glass, and The Book of Azrael. Here are some tropes. Says here, physically strong female lead. I love that it literally says physically in like parentheses strong female lead, so she's just not like mentally strong or like what what was that? It says love triangle, slow burn, forbidden love, Hades and Persephone, who hurt you, fated mates, age gap, just a couple hundred years, ... Found family. Okay, so this sounds so good. It says love triangle, but who the fuck wants a Terrell? I want a Hael, okay? That's all I'm saying. Next one for December 2nd, we have the 4th book in the Lightlark series called Crown Tide. I recently found out that this book was coming out. I honestly thought that this series was completed already, but because it is the 4th book, I won't be reading the synopsis for it, of course, because I haven't read the first book and I don't want to spoil any information for this series. So we're just gonna go ahead and read the Lightlark. Welcome to the Centennial. Every 100 years, the island of Lightlark appears for only 100 days to host a deadly game where the rulers of 6 realms fight to break their curses and win unparalleled power. Each ruler has something to hide. Each curse is uniquely wicked. To break them and save themselves and their realms, one ruler must die. To survive, Isla Crown must lie, cheat, and betray, even as love complicates everything. I mean, it sounds really good. I'm here for it. Another book that's coming out December 2nd. I feel like I've talked about this book multiple times and it's been in my new releases multiple times, but the published date has been moved multiple times. This is the next one that I have. It is coming out December 2nd. So I hope it comes out December 2nd. Otherwise, this is just gonna be in following new release. I don't know what to tell you. I also think I've read the synopsis for this book, so I think I'm going to skip reading the synopsis, but I'm definitely intrigued. I guess I will read the little blurb here. It says that they said the gods were a myth, that the giants were only stories told around dying fires. They lied. But if I'm the spark, maybe he's the fuse, and the gods, they're about to wake up angry. The genres are fantasy, romantasy, mythology, romance, fantasy, romance, adult, enemies to lovers, etc. So it just sounds really good. It has to do with mythology. It's a romantasy. I'm here for it. The first print run edition looks gorgeous. So yeah, It's on my radar, obviously, since I keep mentioning it and it still hasn't been published. Another book coming out December 2nd is Something Wicked by Fallon Ballard. Fallon Ballard actually has written a lot of romances, but I believe this is gonna be her first romantasy. Yeah, she's mostly a romance author, and I've seen her books and her name around. So when I saw this one that she was coming out with a new release, I immediately recognized her author name, then realized that this is a romantasy. So I am so excited. The cover looks gorgeous. I'm so excited about this one. This one says, from the beloved USA Today bestselling author Fallon Ballard comes a seductive romantasy that blends Macbeth and Moulin Rouge into a hypnotic saga of sex, love, and murder. The country of Avon is in deep turmoil. The uprising has overthrown Avon's monarchical rulers and a decree has been issued. Candidates for the first presidential election will be selected by the completion of a special task to kill the former monarch of their home province. Callum, the son of the recently dethroned king, is determined to be in the running, but to do so he must come to terms with killing his father, the key to which lies in the hands of Lady Catherine, a gifted courtesan at La Puissance, Avon's premier sex club. Okay, this has so many things going on right now. There is a murder plot. There is like a mystery. Honestly, I don't know if there's a mystery, but I'm confused. A sex club, like, oh my gosh. Okay, so it says, Lady Catherine has always had the magical ability to manipulate the emotions of anyone who experiences an orgasm in her presence. Wait. This is the first time I'm reading the synopsis. Y'all gonna have to bear with me. If Callum can only open up to Kate, he will be able to commit the newly fated murder without suffering the guilt and take his place as the rightful candidate from his province. But Callum has a deep-seated mistrust for the gifted, and the last thing he expects is to be confronted with an undeniable connection with Kate that neither of them understands nor wants. With the fate of the country at stake, Callum and Kate search for ways to bear themselves to each other and discover a darker force building within La Puissance. There's a lot of French words in here, y'all. And French is not a language I speak. One that might ruin the future of Avon for good. To stop Avon from violently falling to ashes, they must sacrifice everything they have, even if it requires betraying each other. Okay, you guys, this sounds so interesting. I feel like it might give a little bit all over the place because what do you mean that she can change somebody's emotions if she's experienced orgasms in her presence? Like, is she about to fuck his dad? Remove the guilt so he's gonna kill his own father and then fuck her so he doesn't feel the guilt for killing his father? Like, what? Did y'all pick up the same shit that I was picking up? Because this was something. I'm intrigued. I'm still intrigued. Okay, moving on. Last book for December 2nd, we have The Mating Game by Lana Ferguson. I have read everything by Lana Ferguson till this day, and this is going to be no different. I am really hoping to read this one. This one is one I'm excited for. This one is another one of Lana Ferguson's paranormal romances. It says here, two wolf shifters reluctant to love discover there's no fighting the call of the wild in this steamy romance by USA Today bestselling author Lana Ferguson. I will say I'll probably listen to this on audio before even thinking about buying the physical copy. It says contractor Tess Covington has spent her entire life as a regular non-shifter human, so after she lands in the Denver ER with flu-like symptoms, it comes as a complete shock to be told that no, she's not sick, she's actually a late-presenting Omega wolf shifter. With her family in dire financial straits and a contract for her own television show on the line, she can't afford not to complete the renovation job she came for. And given that her newly emerged wolf is in danger of going into heat, she'll have to do her best to follow the doctor's advice to keep away from alpha shifters. Alpha wolf Hunter Barrett has spent most of his adult life living by a routine, and a big part of that involves staying clear of Omegas after having one stomp on his heart. So when the tiny contractor shows up at his place smelling like the one thing he's determined to avoid, he thinks it must be some sort of cosmic joke. But with his lodge on the verge of failing in this sweet-smelling Omega, his only hope to turn things around, he's left with a few other options than to grin and bear it. Set on avoiding each other as much as possible, they find things unexpectedly starting to heat up between them enough to thaw even the frostiest of hearts. Though even with the pair going head over paws for each other, there's no changing that their fling has an expiration date. The more time they spend together, the more they realize they're playing a dangerous game, one where the only thing on the line is their hearts. This sounds so good. I love me a paranormal werewolf romance, Omega, alphas, like I love everything. about this, and it's giving wintry cabin renovation vibes, and it's all speaking to me. I hope this is one of Lana Ferguson's books that I love so that I can get the physical copy. Moving on to December 9th, we have 3 new releases on my radar. First one being An Archive of Romance by Ava Reed. This is a novella in the A Study in Drowning series / duology. This is just a beautiful cover, and I think it's going to be a very beautiful novella, but I did enjoy A Study in Drowning. I just haven't read the second book, A Theory of Dreaming, but this one says the enchanting world of A Study in Drowning comes to life through letters, poems, art, and more in this beautifully illustrated full-color novella from New York Times bestselling author Ava Reed, featuring over 40 illustrations, expanded in new text, stunning end papers, and romantic rose gold foil for a jaw-dropping addition to the beloved Dark Academia series. I did really enjoy the first book in this series. I do have a Libby hold on A Theory in Drowning, which is the second book in that series. I'm wanting to listen to it soon. I just don't know what soon necessarily means, but I also have my eye on this because I do love the writing and the poems. I would really like to see like the illustrations in this, specifically because I love the vibe of this series and I love Ava Reed's writing. So if there's like poems and stuff, like I just know that I'm going to love it. So I definitely have my eye on that one. Then this one I recently found out about. This one is In a Second by Kate Canterbury. This is the 3rd book in the Friendship Rhode Island series. This is so crazy because I read In a Jam by Kate Canterbury, I believe this year. Oh, I don't know. But then there was a book 1.5 called Shucked. And then there was actually book 2 In a Rush, which I didn't even know about. And then now book 3 is coming out December 9th called In a Second. So I guess we should go ahead and read In a Second synopsis. I'm intrigued about this one because I did like the first book. I believe I listened to it on audio, but I did think it was a bit long. We'll see if I even get to this. Maybe that's why I didn't even know there was a book 2 and a book 1.5. But so far with 3 ratings, it has a 5-star rating. So it must be good. It says, last time Audrey Saunders saw Jude Bellesi, he begged her to ditch her wedding and run off with him. In her defense, she was already in the dress. Wait, what? What do you mean? Years later, divorced and done with relationships, Audrey runs right into the one man she never managed to forget, except Jude isn't the rebellious bad boy she remembers. Now Jude's an aerospace engineer, a fiercely protective single dad, and apparently her fiance. At least that's the story he spun for his sick mother. When Jude asks her to play along for the summer, Audrey knows better. She really does, but unfinished business is a powerful thing, and so is the pull of the boy who once held her whole heart. Besides, how much damage can one summer vacation with the biggest mistake of her life really do? Epic catastrophe looks a lot like a mother-in-law in turbo wedding planner mode, a preschooler who doesn't miss a beat, and a suspiciously high number of hotel rooms with just one bed. So why does lying about forever feel like the first honest thing she's done in years? Okay, it's a second chance romance. You had me at second chance romance. But like the fact that he begs her not to get married if she says no, I feel like she's gonna have to like grovel. Depending if she had a really good reason on why she said no. You know what? I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued, not gonna lie. So moving on, another book for December 9th, we have Seeing Other People by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. So I recently read these authors this year and I surprisingly really liked their books and I loved the roughest draft by them. And when I saw that they were coming out with a new book release, I was excited and this sounds very interesting. So let's dive into the synopsis. It says here, 2 people haunted by their exes find that love isn't dead in this heartfelt romance from the beloved authors of The Roughest Draft. Morgan is being ghosted by her ex. No, really. It's sad Zach died and became a ghost, but Morgan and Zach only ever went on the one date and now she's being haunted by him. Zach has no desire to spend eternity with Morgan, but he can't recall his past and doesn't know how to move on. At a support group for humans and their haunters, Morgan and Zach run into Sawyer, whose fiance turned ghost has started to fade. Unlike Morgan, Sawyer isn't ready to part ways with his ghost. Although Although they face opposite issues, Morgan and Sawyer decide to work together to solve their problems. As Morgan and Sawyer try to solve their paranormal conundrums together, they find something even more surprising, a tender, growing affection between them that threatens any unfinished business they're seeking to close. The ghosts of their past might be there in spirit, but the connection between Morgan and Sawyer is as alive and as anything they've ever felt. So this sounds like it's gonna break my heart. I think it's gonna be very sad, but it has like this paranormal element in it, so it might be more of like a fall read, but I wouldn't mind reading it in the winter time. And I know that these authors can write angst and tension so good, so I feel like this is gonna be good. I feel like it's gonna pull at my heartstrings. I think that I'm going to love this. So this one is definitely on my radar, and I'm glad that I found it. This is why I say that I should probably find and follow my favorite authors so I can keep track of the new releases that they're dropping, because I didn't know about this until I was gonna make this video. So yeah, I gotta definitely get on that. Then for December 20th, we have The Old Pair by Rachel M. Banks. I'm pretty sure I found this author / this book on TikTok. I'm not mad about it, so let's get into it. I really enjoy this cover. It says here, at 13, Anastasia Layton had won Olympic gold in pairs figure skating. There's just one problem. She doesn't have a partner. That is until James Scott comes stumbling into her world, scrawny, inexperienced, but full of determination. Jamie changes everything for Anna. Against all odds, they soar from underdogs to national darlings. Their connection is undeniable, both on and off the ice. But the spotlight has a cruel way of uncovering what was meant to stay hidden, and no bond, no matter how strong, is immune to the strain of fame. It's been 10 years since Jamie walked out of her life and took her heart with him. Now at 27, Anna arrives at the Olympics with a new partner and one last shot at the gold. So when Jamie appears at the games, Anna is forced to face everything. The love they lost, the grief of her father's death, and the mother who still blames her for the ruin of her own skating career. Jamie has 7 days with her to win her back. Anna's not sure she can make it through 7 minutes with him. What do you mean? Why did I just eat that up? Why did that just make me feel something? It says, The Old Pair is a sweeping second chance romance about ambition, heartbreak, and the hardest move of all, forgiveness. Okay, so now that I'm like recalling, this is giving like, if you are on TikTok, which I'm pretty sure like 99% of you are, if you've ever seen those like fan edits of the girl and the guy who skate and they like from young to old and they like dated, but I think they're not together anymore. But like the way that they do those edits, like literally the yearning and like the skating together and the emotion of all of that, I think inspired this book, and I hope that I love it. Because just with this synopsis, it's giving everything that I want and more. I mean, it has a 5 ratings and it has an average rating of 5 stars. So people are loving it, and I think I'm going to be one of those people. Okay, for December 29th, I know we're like skipping right along. December 29th, we have the 3rd book in the Impossible Universe trilogy by Gianna Darling. This one is called The Stars in Their Sky. Yeah. I'm so excited about this. Yep, like there's no synopsis for this. The way that the second book ended, like I need this book like 2 months ago. Literally, there's no cover. There's nothing for this book out yet, but I know it comes out the 29th of December, and I will be sat. I will be sat reading this book. Then for December 30th, we have In Your Dreams by Sarah Adams. This is book 4 in the When in Rome series. Sarah Adams is an author that I have been wanting to read, but I've kind of been putting off reading her books because I know that she's an author that doesn't write spice, and not necessarily that I need spice in my books. I just prefer it. I do read books without no spice, and I like knowing that there's no spice. So I know that Sarah Adams has no spice, but it doesn't like motivate me to pick up the book, even though I've heard amazing things about this author, which is why I own her books physically, and I saw that she's coming out with a new book, so it put her on my radar again. So I'm like telling myself that I need to read her soon. But let's get into the synopsis for this new release by her. It says, a homecoming to Rome, Kentucky sparks a new romance and lots of drama between 2 old family friends from the New York Times bestselling author of When in Rome, Practice Makes Perfect, and Beg, Borrow, and Steal. Madison Walker left Rome, Kentucky, determined to prove she could make it in the culinary world. But after years of chasing success in New York, all she has to show for it is a shattered confidence and a desperate need for a fresh start. Coming home isn't part of the plan until an unexpected job offer lands in her lap, giving her a chance to rebuild everything she's lost. The head chef position at a new farm-to-table restaurant in her hometown. The only catch, it comes from James Huxley, owner of Huxley Farm, her brother's best friend, and the last person she wants to work for. James has always played it safe, keeping his head down and doing what's expected of him in the family business, and never contemplating anything different, until now when Madison's happiness is on the line. He's loved her quietly for years. knowing she's never seen him as more than an annoyance. Now that she's back, he's determined to change that, even if it means he can only ever be her friend. The one problem, his charming, wildly successful younger brother, Tommy, seems determined to win her over first. Then Tommy is called away on business, and Madison and James are tasked with launching the dreamy farm-to-table restaurant on their own. But as the town starts meddling in the relationship, Tommy's pursuit of Madison grows more relentless, and Madison's fears threaten to hold her back. Keeping things strictly professional becomes impossible. And when an unexpected disaster on opening night collides with a long, simmering sibling feud, both Madison and James will have to face their biggest insecurities and decide if love is worth the risk or if some dreams are safer left untouched. Okay, so I love everything about this except for the brother. Like, what is he doing? Just pick him up and put him over here and let them have their romance. That's all I'm gonna say. I am intrigued though. This sounds fun. So next book coming out December 30th, we have a fantasy romance. We have the first book in the Empire of Blood series by Stasia Stark called We Who Will Die. This cover looks amazing and the synopsis is even better. So let's get into it. From the best-selling author of the Kingdom of Lies series comes a slow burn romantasy set in a Roman-inspired world ruled by merciless vampires. Filled with breathtaking combat, vengeful gods, and magical creatures, We Who Will Die is the epic first installment in an enthralling new series, perfect for fans of Carissa Broadbent, Jasmine Mass, and Rebecca Yarros. Okay, life in the perilous Thorn District is a constant battle for Arvel and her younger brothers, and the vampire standing on her doorstep is about to turn their world upside down. Faced with an unthinkable choice, Arvel makes a magically binding vow to do the impossible: kill the Emperor, an ancient vampire created by the god Umbros. But first, she must enter the Sundering, an arena where only the fastest, strongest, and deadliest survive long enough to be selected for the Emperor's elite guard. She quickly draws the ire of the Primus, the powerful figure charged with protecting the Emperor. But the vampire under the armor is the last person Arvel expects to encounter in the Emperor's court. With her brother's lives in the balance, Arvel has no choice but to ally with the man who once shattered her heart and with the Emperor's sadistic son, Rorik, two vampires whose motives are impossible to pin down. Rorik holds the key to understanding the powers Arvel is developing, abilities that would put a price on her head if discovered by the Emperor. To survive the arena and complete her mission, Arvel must get to the bottom of a conspiracy that will change everything she thought she knew about herself and the two vampires who are deeply entwined with her destiny. Two? I don't know, girl. This better be two or the one. No, it just better be two or nothing. It's going to be hard to choose. I already know. But this sounds so interesting. There's a heist. There's an arena. There's two vampires. Vampires in general. Gods, Roman inspired. I'm here for it. It just sounds so good. Then last but not least, for December 31st, we have a new release by Grace Draven, The Moon Raven. I learned about this from my booktube bestie, Ava. She talked about this and I didn't even know it was coming out. Again, another author that I love and I just don't follow, so I don't know when she's dropping new things. My fault. But the cover looks amazing and stunning, and this is what the synopsis says. Desaris Jin Gizas. Listen, y'all, the names of these characters is getting out of hand. Desarius' rare gift for code-breaking means she must flee a conquering army in a fanatical cult or become their prisoner and pawn. To evade capture, she will cross perilous territories and sorcerous borders. Her aim, rescue her sister from captivity and stop a goddess bent on remaking the world through destruction and bloodshed. But she won't be facing danger alone. The battle mage known as the Moon Raven travels by her side. Once Desarius' best friend and lover, Braun is now an uneasy ally with the death bounty on his head for desertion. Bound together by memories and a bond that they both believe broken, the two fugitives must outrun a deadly tracker, save a kingdom, and crush a savage deity, all without dying in the effort. A tale of loyalty and longing. You had me at longing. You did. You really did. So it's giving like second chance. So I'm here for it. Love the cover. I'm excited for a new Grace Draven book. And that, my friends, is all of the new releases I have for the month of December. Let me know if I missed any amazing ones that I definitely should know about. And if you want to let me know that you made it to the end of this video, then go ahead and comment a raven emoji down below in the comments. Thank you again so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.